Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. Embrace yourselves because I'm about to bring you Kamala like you've never heard her before. You think you've heard all her different accents? Oh no. No, you ain't heard nothing yet. But first, let's start with a thoroughly kooky Walz family. There's Tim Walz, who wants to be vice president and has become friends with school shooters.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
But that Fruit Loop is almost normal when compared to Gwen Walz. Here she explains the relationship between tampons in restrooms and reading ability.
You know, if kids are hungry in school, what that does to brain and learning, you're not going to learn to read. So if you're talking about learning to read and closing gaps, then you better take away the barriers for that. If that's tampons, then that's tampons.
Okay, so that's why Tim Walz, or Tampon Tim as Donald Trump calls him, put tampons in boys' restrooms in schools across Minnesota. It all makes sense now. It's because they were hungry and they weren't reading and tampons. Here, Gwen tells us about her first date with Tim, where she rejected his advances, saying she didn't kiss on the first date. His response was to mock her, tell her to get out of his car, and then not call her for 3 days, despite saying he was going to marry her. Sounds like a keeper, Gwen.
It was my policy. So he looked at me like, really? And then he said, well, all right then, because I'm going to marry you. Now get out of my car.
That's so funny.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, I like looked at him and then he didn't call me for 3 days.
Did you see Katie Couric laughing and carrying on like this was the most romantic story she'd ever heard? Okay, let's get to Kamala Harris. Her campaign is faltering. She's losing men. She's already lost the sane women. The Hispanic vote is abandoning her, and there ain't much joy left in the campaign.
Should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again. Never again.
Oh, so much joy. Just feel that joy. Reminds me of something.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history.
Kamala seems to even be copying Dwight's fashion choices. The colours are very similar indeed. And she must have thought that speech went really well because she's done it more than once. Here she is doing the same rant word for word in Atlanta. Get ready for more joy.
Should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States of America. Never again.
Oh dear. Now, Kamala is losing an increasing number of black voters, so of course she thought she better patronise them by trying on her urban black accent again. Here she's just warming up. It gets better.
Well, Georgia, in 12 days is Donald Trump's turn.
But she took things to new levels of derangement, new levels of inauthenticity in Philadelphia when she gave us this performance.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
It's too much. Incredible stuff. Incredible. In fact, that may even top Hillary Clinton's fake black accent.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
How insulting. And if you really want insulting, then get this from Michelle Obama berating Americans for not backing the mediocre, incompetent, far-left radical Democrat.
I got to ask myself, well, why on earth is this race even close? I lay awake at night wondering what in the world is going on. And it's clear to me that the question isn't whether Kamala is ready for this moment, because by every measure, she has demonstrated that she's ready. The real question is, as a country, are we ready for this moment?
You know, this Democrats' campaign is so toxic, it's even making a joke of former legends, like former legend of rock, Bruce Springsteen. Look what's become of him.
Well, I'm just about starving tonight. I'm dying for some action. I'm sick of sitting around here trying to write this book. I need a love reaction. Come on now, baby, give me just one look. You can't start a fire sitting around crying over a broken heart.
Oh, that was painful, and it got worse. Now, the Democrats' propaganda arm is also looking increasingly unhinged. Here is Jake Tapper of CNN claiming that his network didn't incessantly push the Russian collusion hoax. Watch this exchange with JD Vance.
You guys talked about the Russia hoax nonstop.
The FBI was investigating it. The FBI was investigating it, and so we covered them.
And so you took the words of unnamed FBI agents and put them on your network as if they were the gospel truth. You did it again and again. A viewer of your network would have believed that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin conspired in 2016.
No.
That was totally and preposterously false.
No.
Well, that's
what you just said is false.
He says no, but that is precisely what CNN did, including old mate Jake. Here's just a little reminder of Jake pushing Russia hysteria.
President Trump has gone to, quote, extraordinary lengths to keep specifics about his meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin secret, even keeping them from top members of his own administration. Take a listen to how President Trump responded Saturday night when asked directly if he has ever worked for Russia.
I think it's the most insulting thing I've ever been asked. I think it's the most insulting article I've ever had written.
The president did not directly answer the question. It's a stunning turn of events. Do you think the president of the United States ever worked on behalf of the Russians against American interests?